Hey everyone, and welcome back to Laugh Napkin, where we read stories from your favorite subreddits. And today's reading comes from the subreddit r/MaliciousCompliance. Let's get right into it. This first story comes from the user The Articulate Grunt, and is titled, "What was that room number again, sir?" Not sure what my wife was reading, but it reminded her of an incident that she told me to share. I was a captain at the time, and had been assigned as the chief of security for an army hospital. So as the lingo goes, when the calls came down, I was Dr. Strong. I was in my office though when a lieutenant colonel came in. "Hey there, Captain. Need you to take care of an issue for me." "Oh, of course, sir. If it's within my area and power, I'll see what I can do." "Well, the general's driver's wife is in the maternity ward having just had her baby, and she has a problematic roommate. Always closing the curtains and blocking her line of sight to the window. Also messing with the TV. I need this woman moved to another room." That's definitely outside my area of control, sir. I don't oversee or control anything with patients, unless it's an issue of security, safety, or... Yes, I know. But you know everyone, and the doctors and nurses will listen to you more than me. You are one of them now, and they rely on you. Sir, really? I know, no promises. This would really make the general happy though. His driver is like a second son to him, so I would really owe you. It's room number XYA. Just give it your best for a fellow infantryman, okay? I take a deep breath, and I wait a minute. "What room number again, sir?" He smiled. "XYA. Roger, sir. I'll look into it and do my best. I've got a couple of favors I might be able to use." "Outstanding. Thanks." And he left. So on up I went to maternity to find the head nurse. She was not pleased, as apparently the lieutenant colonel had been up there earlier trying to sling his weight around, and came to find me when I had no effect. I pointed out the room though, and she smiled. We both chuckled a little bit, and I asked, "So can you help me out and make this all be good? Please?" Giving me a big friendly smile. "Well, the corner room is open. We could move the bothersome lady in there, though she will likely have a new roommate later today. Then again, once the bed is clean and reset, we will likely be putting another lady in with the driver's wife too. Matter of fact," she paused looking over files, "it will probably be Mrs. Hispanic lady having her fourth child. She was likely going into the corner room, but with the move she'll have to go in with the driver's wife." Well, if that's how it has to be, as long as we can accommodate the lieutenant colonel's request. "Okay, but you're helping me move the lady out of the room." "Yes, ma'am, of course." The lady who has been causing such disturbances for the driver's wife was quite calm and gave no issues with the move or even asked any questions. I called the lieutenant colonel once it was done and made sure to tell him that I had no concrete knowledge if or when a new roommate might be moved into the room, but that the staff was really not happy with the move and extra work. He thanked me, and I never heard anything of it again. The entertaining part of the whole thing, the bothersome lady who got the room with the better view, the woman who had kept closing the curtains for some privacy and turning down the loud crap the driver's wife kept putting on the TV, was my wife, who had just had our first kid. What a hell of a twist on that story, guys. Could you imagine the look on OP's face when he was told the room number and his wife is in that room? How did the lieutenant colonel not know this? Anyway, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments. Let's move on to the next story. This next story comes from the user, "God, I hate people," and is titled, "Okay, I'll use Italian dressing. I moved back in with my parents back in March, and I've been showing my gratitude by cooking every night. I'm pretty good, and often make tasty marinades for the meat that involve a lot of ingredients. Every time, without fail, my dad jokes to just throw the meat in Italian dressing and not bother with the fancy marinades. The joke has gotten stale and annoying, but I love my dad, so it's not a big deal. On Thanksgiving, my mother and I proposed to Dad that we get turkey dinner pre-made from the local deli counter, since it will only be the three of us. Dad never helps cook on the holidays, and an entire Thanksgiving meal is difficult to prepare with only 2 people. Besides, we get the deli meats and sides there regularly, and they're delicious. Dad refused and made a big deal that we need to do Thanksgiving dinner proper. We laid out all the extra work and the money it would take, and ultimately compromised on some elements being home cooked and some pre-bought. A compromise element was buying raw turkey thighs to cook as our protein, since those are Dad's favorites. You might see where this is going. It was my job to cook the turkey thighs, since I'm good at meats, and I made a marinade for them. I had all my sauces and spices set out and ready to go. Right then, my mom and dad started arguing about how dad wanted homemade diabetic-friendly cookies for dessert. It pissed me off, since he had made no mention of them earlier, and I could have made them earlier, and we already had plenty of sugar-free sweets. As dad walked by, he snidely remarked, "Don't forget the Italian," and something snapped inside me. We did all this extra work because he insisted. He wasn't helping, he wanted more, and now he was being sassy. Okay, Italian it is. I put all my seasonings away and dumped an entire bottle of cheap, low-fat Italian dressing on the thighs and threw it back in the fridge overnight. I cooked them as planned the next day, and they smelled and tasted like a salad. They weren't bad, but it was like eating turkey salad. Dad tried a bite and kept chewing, and eventually looked at me in accusation as I slowly stared at him. "Did you?" "Yep, you said you wanted Italian." And we kept eating our salad turkey dinner. Dad has yet to address the turkey or mention the possibility of an entire homemade Christmas dinner. We also had bought a nice ham from the deli, so we had a fallback protein. Guys, nothing like a turkey salad. Yum. Let me know what your favorite marinade is in the comment section below, guys. And let's move on to the next story. The last and final story. This one comes from the user Jaded Crow, and is titled, "Need me to clean your oven? No problem." This happened to me when I was a field tech for a commercial restaurant repair company. The company charged $110 an hour port to port, meaning from the time I left the shop till I returned. Being from the Southwest, I resemble much of the back-of-house staff, and working on ovens, I was usually dirty as well. On this particular day, the chef had called in a service call for a convection oven that wasn't working, and I had just finished ordering the parts when some top brass from the front office came in the kitchen to harass the back-of-house staff, I suppose. One dude in a pair of khakis and a button-up asked me why the ovens were as dirty as they were, and I said I got no idea. "Well, you need to get them cleaned up." Now usually I would have told him to kiss my ass and walked out, but this particular day I decided to help him out. So I stayed a couple of hours and cleaned up his oven at $110 an hour. Of course, he disputed the invoice and threatened not to pay, but I had parts on order for another piece of equipment, and if you don't pay, I don't come back and put your shit back together. So yeah, he paid. Wow, it's pretty bad when the management doesn't even know who their employees are. If you've been on my channel before, we've seen plenty of horrible managers out there, but this guy didn't even know who his employees were? Come on, that's one horrible manager. Anyway, that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed these stories today. If you did, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.